chat for the hearts that sustain us. Bringing the love where the waves crash and scatter. Words form a bond and they endlessly chain us. Kindness that matters. Voices arise and the flow never falter. Building a space where the ties last forever. Chat is the place where respect doesn't alter, holding us clever. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its power. Threads of goodwill through the storms that unite us. Hope we devour. Here in this space, every heart finds its meaning. Words weave a net where the world feels much kinder. Chat is the pulse, every moment redeeming, binding reminder. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its power. Threads of goodwill through the storms that unite us. Hope we devour. Quiet nights and the storms full of thunder. Chat holds the light, every word a new tether. Strength in the love that connects us, no sunder, lifting together. Hats off to Chat for the joy in your giving. Every kind soul brings a world that feels brighter. May these connections endure while we're living, bond growing tighter. Hats off to Chat for the joy in your giving. Every kind soul brings a world that feels brighter. May these connections endure while we're living, bond growing tighter. To Chat for the hearts that sustain us. Bringing the love where the waves crash and scatter. Words form a bond and they endlessly chain us. Kindness that matters. Voices arise and the flow never falter. Building a space where the ties last forever. Chat is the place where respect doesn't alter, holding us clever. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its power.
Hi, y'all. How's it going? Nebulous. You win. You might be slow with extra typos. Hi, Eric. How are you? How is everybody doing? I have had a difficult day. I called in sick to work today. I can see you. The peppermint dilithium crystals suck that you got off the internet. It's the peppermint part, Nebulous. I can see you. You know what makes that happen, sweetie, is the chatting part. If you do the chatting, then I can see you, and everybody else can see you with you guys liking me having the chat on the side. You were in first, Eric? I don't think so. It pretty much looks to me like Nebulous. Oh, I'm wrong. Eric was in first. I misread it. Cricket, how are you, sweetheart? It is good to see you. You're right, Eric. You were in first. That is my bad. Let me pull up your beautiful prize and show y'all what it looks like. Check this out. Eric, what do you think? Lupita, how are you, sweetheart? It is good to see you. It is good to see you. I need to stop for a moment and put some lip gloss on, y'all. Give me just a sec. My lips are all dry. You love it? That's good, Eric. I'm glad you like it. There we go. That's better. Top produced a failed 80s sitcom called Party Time. Adam, you never fail to crack me up. Top Chat sounds like its own reality show, Adam. Like wasn't it Top Chef? We had other top reality shows that were top this or top that. I've got a new background, y'all. While I was killing time, waiting for the clock to strike 6, I was playing with ChatGPT. I'm not sure I love it. It needs some work yet. Paulo, hola, ¿cómo está? I hope you are well. I am doing okay. Like I said, I called in sick to work today because I woke up so exhausted. And I had a migraine. And I just haven't been able to do anything but I haven't been able to keep my eyes open all day. I slept all afternoon. It's been almost miserable. It's good to see you too, Lupita. It's good to see you too. Eric, go ahead and email Cricket or I. As always, child number 2, number 3, number 4. Well, you know how I always got the names wrong? I do the same thing with which child you are. It's a parent thing.
So I've lived with you the most consistently for the past several years. I haven't had to move back in.
Your point?
You don't have an excuse anymore.
There is no excuse. I wasn't trying to make an excuse, child number 4. I was just trying to tell you how it is. Nails, do you want to show the chat? Come show the chat. Stand behind the green screen. They won't be able to see you. And put your nails in the chat. There's the nails, guys. Oh, what do you think? You got to point them down some so people can see. There we go. Child number 4 has nails. They are pretty. I like having nails. I don't anymore. I mean, I have nails, just not. Thank you, Lupita. That's kind of you. Chat GPT is the devil. Naps are good for the soul. Top Chat GPT only gives some answers. We're talking about how Top Chat is the devil. Have you ever been through a chat and you've been through the entire chat and realized you had it on Top Chat instead of live chat? It's the worst. It's the worst. No, I don't think they're gel. I think they're just tips. They're just press-ons. She just they don't hurt as much if they pop. Yeah. Press-ons don't hurt as much as if they pop. That is true. Press-ons hurt less if they pop. Chat wants to tell me they're big fans of mine. Chat wants me to tell you they're big fans of mine. They find this important to verbalize. Okay. You don't argue with chat. Chat is wise.
I don't argue with one chat, but the chat that I don't argue with anymore, the person who streamed died.
Okay, but you don't argue with my chat either.
I don't care about your chat.
You don't care about my chat. Top Chat should ask if you're blocked. Soda wants in and out at the same time.
He is not omnipresent. He cannot do that.
Do you want to feed him? He might be happier. If you fed him, he might be happier. Yes, it is the time. The cats have decreed that it is the feeding time. I got a... Yes, they have. Yes, they both went boom. I need to send a text, folks. There have been people who have asked me to text them when I go live because otherwise they forget to show up. Which is understandable. I forget to show up if I don't get a text. Sometimes I forget to show up if I get a text. So last week we did trivia and it was not awful. So I thought we might do trivia. They would never admit to that, Eric. They are in many ways, but they would never admit to that. They are 16 and nothing like their mother, according to them. which is fair? Ooh, here's a trivia question. We'll play trivia tonight because I was too tired to come up with another idea. Okay, guys, which song did we hear first? That's the Way I Like It. Hey, Brain Fog, how are you? That's the Way I Like It, or Whatever Gets You Through the Night? Which song came first? Which did we hear first? That's the Way I Like It, or Whatever Gets You Through the Night? That's not the easiest question to answer. How's everybody surviving the war? Freebird. That wasn't one of the options, Dusty. How are you, sweetheart? It's good to see you. Cricket, I completely understand the typos. Do not stress about them. And you're cracking me up with the appreciation going on. We can argue about which hot chick she was talking to, eh? Which did we hear first? That's the Way I Like It, or Whatever Gets You Through? Yeah, you have, Fuzzy. Yeah, you have. Hold on. It's a John Lennon tune. Elton John and John Lennon. We'll just do a little bit of this. Yep, Elton John and John Lennon. We will do 5 seconds. Hold on.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's alright.
It's all right. Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. It's all right. Cricket, you are right. I am the hot chick. Thank you. What do you do if you see a bear dance? Play dead. Gets you through the night was first. That is correct, Cricket. You win. I need my reading glasses. Before your local gas station had an Exxon sign, it had one of 3 earlier brands. Name one of them. What came before the Exxon sign? It does sound like the Saturday Night Live band. What signs were there before the Exxon sign? Anybody know? Esso. Yes, Adam. Anybody have the others? Not Texaco, Fuzzy. Esso is one. I didn't know any of these. Mobil, yeah. Standard Oil, Mobil Oil. Esso, Oil Slick. There you go, Dusty. Esso was one. Does anybody know the other two? Diddy Oil. Baby oil, huh? Baby oil. I listen to Leonard Skinner, Nebulous. I like Leonard Skinner. Costco. Lupita. Indeed, Costco. Okay, next. Okay. The other two were Enco and Humble. Esso, Enco, and Humble. I've never heard of any of them. I don't recall any of them. Dinah Shore told Americans where to go and how to get there. What is the jingle associated with Dinah Shore and her TV show? It's still Esso in Canada? Interesting, Adam. What song did Dinah Shore sing on her show? Dinah Shore was a queen. Something else, that woman. Whoopsie. Glasses flying all over the place. I don't know about these trivia questions. See the USA in a Chevrolet. See the USA in your Chevrolet. Yeah. One made you feel like a nut and the other didn't. What was the company and the products? That was a Dinah Shore classic. Indeed, it was. See the USA in your Chevrolet. That one was a great one. And Dinah Shore is something else. Hold on, where'd I go? Here we go. See the USA in your Chevrolet. Mounds and Almond Joy. Yes. Dinah Shore did not like lesbians inundating her golf tournaments. Well, boo on Dinah Shore. Peter, Paul, and Mary, you guys. Peter, Paul, and Mary were mounds.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's asking you to call.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. That was Dinah Shore, the Stay Puft Monster. Peter, Paul, and Mary, Mounds and Almond Joy. In Greek mythology, who is the god of communication and travel? Name a boomer song. Name 4 boomer songs by Bob Marley. Name 4 of 8 boomer songs by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Can you guys do it? Zoom meetings. Aries. They said Hermes. They said Hermes. Icarus. Yeah, Icarus is a good one, Nebulous. I think we have an Icarus in office, actually. The card says the Greek god of communication and travel is Hermes. Let us check to see. Isn't Aries the god of war, dear? I mean, boomer era. I mean, elder Gen X might resonate with these songs. I certainly do. I agree. It's a little. Okay, no woman, no cry. Exactly, Fuzzy. No woman, no cry is one. What else we got, y'all? I have a confession to make. I will have to make it again. Sure, if it's not UPS. I think 3 Little Birds. Nope, that's not one. I don't think people get ready as Bob Marley, is it? Curtis Mayfield. Yeah, Curtis Mayfield. Not Bob Marley. I love that song though. One Love, indeed. One woman, no woman, no cry. One Love. You jamming out, Eric? Yeah, we're talking about a lot of good songs. Exodus is one, Dusty. Exactly. Exodus is one. That's 3 down. You think we could get 4? Jammin'. Oh, sorry, Eric. Jammin' is 1, and Is This Love is 1. Yes. I thought you were jamming out. I wasn't paying attention. Natural Mystic. That should be 1, Nebulous. If it isn't 1, that should be 1. Who remembers the Winston cigarette slogan? Anybody? All of his songs are roughly from the same time period? Yes, it seems they are. Anybody remember the Winston cigarette slogan? I didn't. I had to look it up. That is exactly right, Cricket. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. Yeah. The door over the original Motown office in Detroit announced you were where? Lipstick on my teeth. Hate that. Hate that. Lipstick on my teeth. The door over the original Motown office in Detroit announced you were where? Winston Smith, double plus good. Oh, Adam. Too busy smoking packets of LRH? My parents used the TV as a babysitter too. To a little bit, not too much. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of shows. I wasn't allowed to watch like Starsky and Hutch. You've been to Bob Marley's grave 2 times? Wow, Dusty, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Here's an appropriate one for us to remember nowadays. Who was selected to be Senator Joe McCarthy's chief counsel during the Army hearings? Who was selected to be Senator Joe McCarthy's chief counsel during the 1954 Army hearings? This is interesting. Close, Dusty. Hitsville, USA. Exactly, Fuzzy. Exactly. Hitsville, USA. Not RFK, Cricket. Kennedy was not chosen because he was considered too young. Instead, they chose Roy Cohn. That is Roy Cohn's claim to fame amongst many others. Being chief counsel during the Army McCarthy hearings. So, do you remember girls would walk with books on their heads and learn how to sit with their legs crossed properly? Where did they go to learn this stuff? Where did you send girls to learn how to walk with books on your head, sit properly, cross your legs properly? Where would girls go? Hmm? And while we're talking about the girls, I have a list of the 8 countries who were members of the Warsaw Pact during the Cold War. Can y'all name 5? Finishing school, indeed. Yes, Cricket, he sure did hunt from the closet. It was a little gross. Charm school, finishing school, exactly. Exactly. So I have a list. I have a list of 8 of the countries that signed the Warsaw Pact during the Cold War. Anybody? Papa Cat, how are you? It is good to see you. Brain fog, I missed you today. I was telling everybody Soviet Union, Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia. Yep. Albania, Bulgaria, East Germany, Hungary. You had Hungary. Romania. Eastern Europe. Albania, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Hungary, Poland, and Romania, and the Soviet Union. That is your history. We will have more history. I like the history questions. They are some of the best. What is the last word in the Roto-Rooter jingle? What is the last word in the Roto-Rooter jingle? Tito refused to join? You mean Romania didn't join the Warsaw Pact? I just made 2 of those up? No, I was reading from a list. Tito is Romania, right? It wasn't called Czechoslovakia then, it was Yugoslavia? That's probably true, Fab Daddy. How are you tonight, dear? Yes, Cricket. Drain is right. So this is Plunge Fizz Fizz, oh, what a relief it is. Alka-Seltzer combined with Roto-Rooter. That's an interesting concept, Adam. Who was the record executive who passed on signing the Beatles, but later had a long-running hit TV show that had people singing along? Who was the record executive who passed on signing the Beatles, but later had a long-running hit TV show that had people singing along? He also passed on Elvis Presley and Buddy Holly. Not Ed Sullivan, Eric. Not Ed Sullivan. Tito was Yugoslavia. Czechoslovakia was a different country. Okay, Adam. I am not great with my Cold War history. I should be. All the countries changed names, and I do not remember all of everything. What about Johnny Rotter? What about Johnny Rotter, Dusty? I don't know who Johnny Rotter is. Jerry Springer? Not Don Kirshner. Ooh, when you're out of this, you're out of beer. When you're out of this, you're out of beer. No, it's some guy named Mitch Miller who had a show called Sing Along with Mitch. Buddy Holly, he passed on Buddy Holly, the Beatles, and Elvis. He was the head of A&R at Columbia. He worked with Doris Day, Patti Page, and Frankie Laine. You messed up the joke? Okay, Dusty. That's too bad. I'm sorry. I probably messed it up. Water. When you're out of water, you're out of beer. What international incident led to Nikita Khrushchev's refusal to meet with President Eisenhower for a summit in Paris in 1960? What international incident led to Nikita Khrushchev's refusal to meet with President Eisenhower for a summit in Paris in 1960? Apparently, when you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Yes, Adam. The shooting down of a U-2 spy plane over Russia. Yes. That put the kibosh on the summit in Paris between Nikita Khrushchev and Dwight Eisenhower. The downing of a U-2 spy plane over Russia. Exactly that. So, I've got a list of 8 ladies named Betty. Can you guys give me 8 Bettys? How many Bettys can you give me? This is a great list of Bettys. It's very impressive. I want you guys to tell me how many Bettys you can give me. Boomer Bettys. How many Bettys can you give me? And while you're giving me Betty Crocker, exactly, Fab Daddy. Betty Ford, Betty White. Yes. Yeah, Betty White, Betty Ford, Betty Crocker. From the land of sky blue waters. Ham's beer, exactly. Sweaty Betty? Sweaty Betty isn't on there, Fab Daddy. Betty White, Betty Grable, yes. Betty Davis, yes. Betty Davis. Betty Friedan, yes. Betty Buckley wasn't on there. Betty Rubble is excellent. So my list says Betty White, Betty Crocker, Betty Friedan, Betty Ford, yes, Fuzzy. Betty Boop, Betty Rubble, Betty Grable, and Betty Davis. It's an impressive list of Bettys. Betty White, Betty Crocker, Betty Friedan, Betty Boop, Betty Ford, Betty Grable, Betty Davis, Betty Rubble. Wow. Wow. So, Ham's beer is from the land of sky blue waters. According to the jingle, what did Mama put in your milk for extra energy? Betty Good. Indeed, Adam. I've never heard this jingle. According to the jingle, what did Mama put in your milk for extra energy? Okay, I found the jingle. Cocaine, exactly. You've never heard this? Ovaltine? Ovaltine is really close, Dusty. Ovaltine is really close. Nesquik is close. Chocolate is close. But what kind of chocolate, Susan? What did Mama put in your milk for extra energy? It wasn't just any chocolate. It wasn't Ovaltine. Wasn't cocaine, although that was the first thing that came to my mind. What did Mama put in your milk for extra energy? My goodness gracious. Okay, let's check it out. Hold on. Yes, Fuzzy.
Puts it in my milk for extra energy. Bosco gives me iron and sunshine vitamin D. Bosco gives me iron. Mama puts it in my milk for extra energy. Bosco gives.
Yep, Mama puts it in my milk for extra energy. Bosco chocolate. That is a good one. I didn't remember that. I don't remember Bosco chocolate at all. Not at all. What's the punctuation term for the ... placed between two words in a sentence to indicate a pause? What is the term for the 3 dots placed in a sentence, Bosco from Seinfeld, to indicate a pause? Do you guys know the word for that term? You remember it now, Susan? Ellipsis is right. Which NFL star was also Bobby Kennedy's de facto bodyguard during the 1968 elections? Which seems a little odd. He was Bobby Kennedy's de facto bodyguard. Where was the Secret Service? I got a new... Bosco did those crappy wafer candies. Ellipses. Yes, Lupita. Ellipses is right. Swear word. Rosie Greer. Yes, Adam. Okay. On to the next card. According to the song, if you were an Oscar Mayer Wiener, what would happen to you? So I got this great new pen, guys. Isn't it pretty? Look how you can see the green screen behind me. It's quite lovely. It's nice and heavy. The thing I don't like about it is the top unscrews. Can't beat Adam at this point. Adam is impressive. So it's a fountain pen. It came with a converter pump, so I can use my own ink. But I also got some ink cartridges that go in it. Exactly, Cricket. Everyone would be in love with me. Oh, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer Wiener. That is what I'd truly love to be. Or if I were an Oscar Mayer Wiener, everyone would be in love with me. Why did Procter and Gamble replace the mom on the cover of the Ivory soap box in 1972? Dusty, you're cracking me up. Why did Procter and Gamble replace the mom on the cover of the Ivory soap box in 1972? And what year did Governor Nelson Rockefeller refuse to meet with rioters at Attica? Why did Procter and Gamble replace the mom on the cover of the Ivory soap box? She was too sexy. Indeed. She was too sexy. Here it is. They had to replace this picture. They had to replace the mom. They had to replace the picture. Any idea why, you guys? She was too sexy. That was the problem. 1972. Oh, what year? Yes, 71, brain fog. So the story with the Ivory soap is Attica. I figured you would know that one. Somehow, brain fog. The woman who played the mother on the Ivory Snow, yeah, she was a porn actress. She was a porn star. It was Marilyn Chambers. Marilyn Chambers, the porn star, was the mom on the cover of the Ivory soap box. So that went over well. She did more than a Playboy spread. Lori, I have to apologize to you. There is something wrong. It's not bad. It just, I did something wrong with the fudge and it did not stay fudgy properly. I got it too hot or something. And so I am going to have to send you new fudge, Lori. I have to apologize. I will send you new fudge that will be better. Hey guys, according to a famous ad campaign, how do you spell relief? Behind the Green Laundromat. There's a porn movie for you. Behind the Green Laundromat. Versatile is right, Fuzzy. Dusty. Cricket doesn't have a keyboard. He's on his iPad today. I feel really bad, Lori. I won't stress too much, but I feel really bad. Rolaids is right. Rolaids is right. In 1970, a cigarette brand targeted feminists with a cigarette all their own. What was the brand? What was the brand and what was their slogan? So, a cigarette brand in 1970 targeted feminists with a cigarette all of their own. What was the brand and what was the empowering slogan? I smoked these for a while. Yep, Virginia Slims, indeed. Virginia Slims, it was. And what was their slogan, y'all? What was their slogan? You've come a long way, baby. Exactly. Benjamin Netanyahu's older brother was the only Israeli to die during a famous rescue mission. Where was this rescue mission? Bibi Netanyahu's older brother died on this mission. Anybody know where it was? And while we're considering that, name 3 bands that Eric Clapton played in. Yes, Adam, I knew you'd get that one. Name 3 bands that Eric Clapton played in. Radon Entebbe. Yep, in Uganda. That is absolutely it. With any luck, the sky is going to match that sunset here in a little while. It has been sunny most of the day. Yardbirds is 1, yes. The Yardbirds is right. Cream, Derek and the Dominoes, yes, Adam. In their ad jingle, how did the makers of SpaghettiOs describe their product and even tell you how to eat it? They changed the operation to Operation Yonatan. Blind Faith, yes. Is that Bibi's brother's name, Yonatan? So I've got the Yardbirds, Cream, Blind Faith, Delaney and Bonnie and Friends, Derek and the Dominoes, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, and the Plastic Ono Band. The Yardbirds, Cream, Blind Faith, Delaney and Bonnie and Friends, Derek and the Dominoes, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, the Plastic Ono Band. That's only 7, not 8. But it is what it is. It says the neat round spaghetti you can eat with the spoon. Good to the last drop. I hate SpaghettiOs. I cannot get close to SpaghettiOs. Just cannot with the SpaghettiOs. Who was the hip and talented guy who drew cartoons for Playboy magazine and also authored a child-friendly classic? I don't know about that, Adam. Straight out of the can. Blah. Can't. I can't with SpaghettiOs. The sauce is too sweet. Is that for real, Adam? I didn't know anything about that. The hip and talented guy who drew cartoons for Playboy magazine and also authored a sweet and child-friendly classic. Who could that? Yes, Adam. My goodness, Adam. You just win. You know all the things. I'm so impressed. The first chewable. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Clapton was a big Enoch Powell supporter. Interesting. I had no idea. Shel Silverstein is right. Shel Silverstein was also a cartoonist for Playboy magazine. The first chewable vitamins for kids came out in 1960. What were they called? Skin is the longest organ in the human body. What is the second largest organ in an adult male? So we got chewable vitamins and the second largest organ in an adult male. No, Flintstones didn't come out until in 1968, Adam. Flintstones didn't come out until 1968. These were in 1960. Give me 5 classic snack items made by Hostess. So we got 3. We got the vitamins in the 1960. Not the liver. You're going to be serious? I know you're an adult, Adam. We do need to get our Adam on Jeopardy. That would be excellent, Lori. That would be excellent. Adam, have you ever been on Jeopardy? You should go on Jeopardy. Eric, did you go look that up? You are absolutely right. Twinkies, snowballs, fruit pies. What else? Ding dongs, ho-hos, yodels, ring dings, devil dogs. Wow, Cricket. So the list says Twinkies, ho-hos, snowballs, ding dongs, cupcakes, Suzy Q's, and fruit pies. I'm impressed, Eric. I don't remember that stuff. Very good. Chalks is right. You would go on Match Game. Match Game would be fun, Adam. So the longest Second largest organ in adult male is the small intestines. Second longest. They're saying longest. I'm not sure. Alicia Laters. Hello, Bill. How are you? We are playing trivia. Your first Minnesota goodbye, Bill. Welcome in. The I Want My MTV campaign was based on what catchphrase from an early breakfast cereal television ad? Anybody know that? The I Want My MTV campaign was based on what catchphrase from an early breakfast cereal television ad? While we're waiting on the My MTV campaign, I'm busy reading the trivia questions to screen ones out. Teachers passed out, I want my gloppy gruel. I want my raisin bran. Yes, you guys, I want my Maypo. I want my Maypo. Exactly. Exactly. Teachers passed out a lot of worksheets we don't remember, but the purple ink and the distinct smell came from what machine? Purple ink and distinct smell. James Dean starred in 3 movies. Can you name them all? I can name them all. So what was the purple ink machine with the smell? And what are 3 James Dean movies? Only 3. A mimeograph, yes. And James Dean movies, y'all? Rebel Without a Cause is one. Yeah. Don't worry about the typos, y'all. I usually figure it out. You're close enough. Giant in East of Eden. Yes, brain fog. What future sex symbol creamed Joe Namath in a highly suggestive commercial for Noxzema? They kicked the porn star off the ivory snowbox, but it's okay to cream Joe Namath? Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Dean. I like Jimmy Dean sausage too. Depending on what was bubbling at your party, you could use marshmallows, pieces of meat, or chunks of bread. What is it? So we've got the future sex symbol who creamed Joe Namath in a highly suggestive commercial for Noxzema. And you've got something that was bubbling at your party that you could either use marshmallows, pieces of meat, or chunks of bread. Farrah Fawcett is right, Adam. Fondue is also right. Fondue is also right. When and where were you allowed to use matches in high school? Actually, we didn't use matches for this. We used flint strikers. But where and when were you allowed to use matches in high school? In the mid-70s, ABC hired Barbara Walters to be co-anchor of their nightly newscast. Yes, chemistry class. No, not the bathroom, Eric. Match Game. Yes, Adam. In the mid-70s, ABC hired Barbara Walters to be co-anchor of their nightly newscast alongside an apparently disgruntled anchorman. To light the Bunsen burners. Exactly, Cricket. Exactly. Who was the anchorman? Who was her anchorman that she was co-anchor with? Who was the anchorman that Barbara Walters was co-anchor with? And then give me a list of 5 primary characters on the Love Boat. Not Hugh Downs. Kind of close. They remind me of each other. Yes, brain fog. Harry Reasoner is right. Who are the 5 primary characters on the Love Boat? Doc was one. Yes, Susan. Doc, Julie, Isaac, Gopher. And Captain Stubing. Yes. Doc, Julie, Isaac, Gopher, and Captain Stubing. Guys, you have to I need some advice. These neighbors, you guys probably can't hear it. Let me see if I can turn the pickup up. Can you hear that? Can you hear the neighbors? Trying to look at the mic. The neighbors are so loud. Professor and Marianne here on Gilligan's Isle. So I've turned the pickup all the way up. I better turn it back down. The neighbors play their music so loudly. It is shaking the house. shaking the house. It makes me crazy. First of all, I don't even know which neighbors they are. They're not the next door neighbors. They're neighbors several houses away that are playing the music so loud that the house is vibrating. And the noise, I checked. The noise regulations, and it's 10 p.m. The music has to be off at 10 p.m. The music ordinance, the noise ordinance is 10 p.m. So they will be playing this music this loud until 10 p.m. And there's not a thing I can do. It's unbelievably annoying. And I mean, I think the only solution I can come up with is to make up a batch of cookies and walk over and ask them if they can turn it down. I can't. It's so loud, you guys. It's just so loud. It's very frustrating. Who preceded Alex Trebek on Jeopardy? The first host of Jeopardy proved there was an art to hosting a game show. What was the name of the man who preceded Alex Trebek? I can't believe you guys can't hear that. Not Art Linkletter. Not Chuck Woolery. Not Chuck Woolery. If you weren't too stoned to notice as the credits rolled by, you should be able to give the full name of the comedy team Cheech and Chong. After we get Alex Trebek's predecessor squared away. What are the full names of Cheech and Chong? I can't say anything until 10 o'clock, brain fog. It's so loud. It's so frustrating. Yeah. So this week, y'all, this new schedule, he was even an airplane. Who? Art Linkletter? Cheech Marin and Tommy Chong. But what's Cheech's first name? Chong was born in Edmonton? I didn't know that. So it was Art Fleming who was the previous host of Jeopardy. The host of Jeopardy was Art Fleming. The question is, what was Cheech Marin's first name? Here's an esoteric one. Not Pat Sajak. Art Fleming. Name 4 notable photographers of the host of Jeopardy who you can't remember. Exactly. 4 notable photographers in the boom years. Some of these I don't know, but I do know some of them. Richard Marin. Exactly. Cheech's first name was Richard, Eric. Yep. Cheech's first name was Richard. Ansel Adams is 1. Exactly, Fuzzy. So, Lori, I will make a new batch of fudge this weekend and get it off to you. Please. Accept my apologies. Who is the communist guerrilla group responsible for the killing fields in Cambodia? Richard Avedon, Ansel Adams, yes. Annie Leibovitz, yes. Andy Warhol, yes. Ansel Adams, Diane Arbus, Richard Avedon, Yusuf Karsh, Annie Leibovitz, Herb Ritz, Linda McCartney, and Andy Warhol. Yep, you guys got them. Very good. Communist group, yes, the Khmer Rouge. Exactly, Adam. I knew you'd get that one. That's an easy one. Okay, Lori, I will send it. Don't worry. The cost of shipping is covered. Jim Croce's hit song, Leroy was badder than one thing and meaner than another. What was he badder and meaner than? What was Leroy badder and meaner than? And to follow up from our earlier question, name the man who spent his entire career as a game show host, including over 30 years on a single show. Your answer must be in the form of a question. The promise to Paul in every pot. Yes, they did. Madder than old King Kong and meaner than a junkyard dog. Madder than old King Kong and meaner than a junkyard dog. 'Cause he's bad, bad Leroy Brown. Baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than old King Kong and meaner than a junkyard dog. Do 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 do. Name the man. Yep. Who is Alex Trebek? Exactly. What? Me worry? Was the catchphrase of what gap-toothed, big-eared cover boy? What, me worry? Was the catchphrase of a gap-toothed, big-eared cover boy. Second Minnesota goodbye, y'all. It is a quiet evening in YouTube land. think people must be tired. We used popsicle sticks, boxes, and styrofoam to build classroom displays showing other times and places. What were they called? Alfred E. Newman is absolutely correct. Alfred E. Newman. Mad Magazine. So now that we're dismantling NOAA, tell me which president started NOAA? The National Atmospheric Oceanographic NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. It was started during the Boomer era. Dioramas are correct. Which president started NOAA? Give me 5 Robert Redford movies prior to 1980. There are a lot to choose from. Man was busy. 5 Robert Redford movies prior to 1980. Nixon is right on the money. Nixon started NOAA. Nixon. Adam. So 5 Robert Redford movies prior to 1980. That's not on the list, Fuzzy. Was Robert Redford in that? Robert Redford was not in a film in A Streetcar Named Desire, a film car named Desire. That was Marlon Brando. Nixon also started OSHA. Yes, he did. Who dismantled OSHA, or at least defunded it? The Sting, All the President's Men, yes, Cricket. Speaking of the match game, Adam, long before she found fame on the match game, gravel-voiced Brett Summers found love when she married what Emmy Award-winning actor? Long before she found fame on the match game, Brett Summers found love when she married what Emmy Award-winning actor? The Electric Horseman? I don't have that one either, Susan. The Great Gatsby, yes. Jack Klugman is correct. Jack Klugman is correct. In 1963, the Kingsmen had a hit pop song no one can understand. Name the song the FBI spent over 2 years investigating, searching for pornographic lyrics. Well, at least it's nice to know at least it's nice to know we've always been hyperfixated on sexually suggestive stuff, although I still can't understand why Noxzema creaming Joe Namath is acceptable, but Louie Louie needs 2 years. 2 years of investigating. Louie Louie, exactly. I gave it away. I'm glad you guys already said it. Here's a new one. In the 60s and 70s, where could you catch flicks called Red Asphalt, Mechanized Death, and The Last Prom? Louie, 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 says Lori, Lori, Lori. Exactly. Where could you watch flicks like Red Asphalt, Mechanized Death, and The Last Prom? I remember movies like this. And then, who were the 2 men who formed the Black Panthers in Oakland in 1966? There's a 3 Louie Louie song, Louie Louie Louie. And very important. So we've got 3 questions on the table. The third one is, what were the original 4 main course entrees of Swanson TV dinners? Nickelodeon drive-ins? No. Driver's ed class. Driver's ed class had movies like Red Asphalt, Mechanized Death, and The Last Prom. Huey Newton, close, Adam. They've got Huey Newton and somebody else. Not Eldridge Cleaver. What were the original 4 main course entrees on Swanson TV dinners? And who were the 2 founders? The 2 men who founded the Black Panthers. Huey Newton is listed as one of them. Eldridge Cleaver is not listed as the second. Yeah, Bobby Seale. Turkey and dressing is 1, Susan. You get 1. Blood froze red on the highway? Yeah, that sounds about right, Fuzzy. Yes, turkey and dressing, meatloaf, fried chicken, 1 more, Susan. Not spaghetti. You are so close. And back to Louie Louie, guys. The 120-page report that the FBI made said that Louie Louie was unintelligible at any speed. The things our government spends money on. This is why people tend to think that there is so much fraud in the government that cutting it the way that's being done is functional. I don't tend to think it's functional. Salisbury steak, cricket. Yes. Your driver's ed was all about slave ships? I think it's the wrong driver's ed class, Adam. Bruce Springsteen wrote a song for Patti Smith. What was it called? Our government is busy with Ralph Nader jokes. There you go, Adam. Bruce Springsteen co-wrote a notable hit for Patti Smith. What was the title? Because the Night. Yes. Before she married Frank, which performer was one of the Hee Haw Honeys and a singer on Name That Tune? You meant spaceships? I was thinking something else entirely, Adam. It's gonna ruin you indeed. Because the Night is correct. Before she married Frank, which performer was a Hee Haw Honey and a singer on Name That Tune? I did not know this, y'all. Kathy Lee Gifford. Yes, indeed, Adam. Kathy Lee Gifford. Not Misty Rowe. Boy, I don't remember. I'd forgotten that name, Lori. Wow, Misty Rowe. So there was a bumper sticker warning potential hitchhikers of the price of a ride. What were the 3 rhyming words that spelled out a driver's expectations? In 1958, in an effort to exert greater worldwide impact, Egypt and Syria moved to form what short-lived republic? So we've got a bumper sticker spelling out a driver's expectations with 3 rhyming words. Yeah, I had never heard that, Cricket. I had never heard that. I am certain that I have lipstick on my teeth, y'all. It's going to make me crazy. Yeah, I do. There we go. Yes, Adam, the United Arab Republic. That is absolutely correct. I had never heard that bumper sticker before, Cricket. I'm impressed you came up with it. In 1970, one particular psychedelic rock band thought it would be slick to change part of its name. What is the original name and the new name? Name the character actor who never left home without his American Express traveler's checks, even when he was on the streets of San Francisco. Remember traveler's checks? Yes, Cricket. Jefferson Airplane to Jefferson Starship. Exactly that. Yep, Adam. Who never left home without his American Express traveler's checks, even on the streets of San Francisco? What was the name of the game whose basic on-screen instructions were avoid missing ball for high score? 1974 game. Yes, Carl Malden is correct. Carl Malden never left home without his American Express traveler's checks. There were 11 removable parts from Cavity Sam in the original game of Operation. Give me 3. Give me 3. And we're still waiting for the video game name from 1974. Exactly, Cricket. Pong it is. Pong it is. Excuse me for a moment, y'all. My mouth is getting dry. 11 removable parts from Cavity Sam in operation. Name 3. Funny Bone is not one, Cricket. Adam's apple is one. Wrenched knee is another. Really, Adam? Nothing like placement, huh? Nothing like product placement. Why did Steve Miller want to shake your tree? Why did Steve Miller want to shake your tree? So, 11 removable parts from Cavity Sam. I have a list of 8. They are in no particular order. Yes, Wishbone. Adam's apple, Wishbone, butterflies in the stomach, Charlie horse, broken heart, bread basket, wrenched ankle, and water on the knee. Was the Pompatus of trees. Yes, indeed. But why did he want to shake your tree? Loves your peaches, Fuzzy. He does love your peaches. I love that song. I really like that song. It's one of my favorites. Which scared us first? The Oscar or the Omen? I'm sorry. The Exorcist or the Omen? Which scared us first? The Exorcist or the Omen? Operation is how you developed anxiety. Yeah, that buzzer was something else, wasn't it? Starting in 1969, the U.S. policy was based on, yes, Exorcist was first. The game directions? Oh, Cricket, that was Pong. That was Pong. The directions were The directions were avoid missing ball for high score. And that was Pong. Starting in 1969, U.S. policy was based on Vietnamization. What did that mean? Vietnamization. And yes, The Exorcist was first. And we are third Minnesota goodbye, y'all. Man, that went fast tonight. Do y'all like this game? Or do you want to go back to bingo next week? Give me a 1 if you like the trivia, or a 2 if you'd like to go back to bingo. I can certainly do either. In 1961, Romeo and Juliet. 1 means you like the trivia? Okay, we'll keep doing the trivia. In 1961, Romeo and Juliet was I can't remember what 1 was, guys. That's how short my memory is nowadays. I don't know how I managed to teach. I'm not even high. And I can't remember shit. I got a terrible case of CRS. I'm thinking 1 was the trivia game. Please tell me if 1 was the trivia game. In 1961, Romeo and Juliet was adapted into a modern musical for Broadway and film. Name one of the composers who created it. Trivia. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. Name one of the 2 composers who adapted Romeo and Juliet in 1961 into a modern musical. Xavier Cugat's wife regularly tickled audiences on Hollywood Squares and Merv Griffin's talk show. What was her signature expression? And who was she? Xavier Cugat's wife regularly tickled audiences on Hollywood Squares and Merv Griffin's talk show. Shakespeare and Hart, Adam. Charo. Yes. What was her signature expression? I don't even know who Xavier Cugat is, except for being Charo's husband. Ooh, interesting. I didn't know who this man was. Coochie Coochie. Exactly, Coochie Coochie. He was a band leader. Yes. Interesting. A much older band leader. Name the futurist novel that delivered new terms like doublespeak, memory hole, Room 101, and thought crime. Did we know the Romeo and Juliet adaptation in 1961, y'all? Poopy Campo is the best band leader name. That is an exceptional band leader name, Poopy Campo. 1984 indeed. You got her autograph? Wow, Eric, that's so nice. That's so nice. Which came first, the running of the first New York City Marathon or the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine? So the Romeo and Juliet adaptation they're speaking of is West Side Story by Sondheim, by Bernstein and Sondheim. So which came first, Rolling Stone or the New York City Marathon? Which New York comedian and club owner said things like, "My mother didn't breastfeed me. She said she liked me like a friend"? Actually, the marathon was in 1970, Cricket, and the first Rolling Stone magazine was in 67. Yep, Rodney Dangerfield it is. Two different toys had one knob for moving horizontally and another knob for moving vertically. Name either one. Knob for moving horizontally and a knob for moving vertically. Can you name either one? Two popular toys. I didn't know there were two toys like this. I only knew of one. Okay, so I'm going to give you 6 words. Yes, Etch a Sketch, Fuzzy. I'm going to give you 6 words, and you're going to give me the next 6, okay? In 1492, the Outer Limits home game. There you go, Adam. An E-meter, yes, Papa Cat. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Exactly, Cricket. Werner von Braun made news wherever he went. What did he do for the N-words? What did he do for the people with the name that starts with N from Germany? What did he do for them? And what did he do for the US? What did Werner von Braun do for Germany? And what did Werner von Braun do for the US? Hi, Antics. Did you get home? Antics, you won 3rd Minnesota Goodbye. Yes, he was a rocket scientist. That is correct. What did he do for the Germans, Adam? Rockets for both. Yeah, he headed up the V1 program for the Germans. And then he headed up the space program at NASA for the Americans. Okay, 3rd Minnesota Goodbye, Antics. You win today. Let me pull it up. Just now home. Are you feeling any better, Antics? There it is. There's 3rd Minnesota Goodbye, Antics. He should have had a V8, but bump, Adam. On a classic metal toy, a song played when you turned the crank. If you sang along, what word from the lyric hit exactly when the character jumps out? Well, we're honored to have you here, Antics. It's always nice when you stop by. I will mail it to you. If I forget, you will need to holler at me or mail Cricket. And make sure if you email either of us that you give us something to tell us when and what you won. So, you know, I won Wheel of Wednesday on the 9th and I won the Silver Awards. Jack in the Box. Exactly, Cricket. From 1958 through 1972, who hosted a total of 53 young people's concerts on television? He's not heavy, he's my horror. Pop goes the weasel. All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought 'twas all in fun. Pop goes the weasel. Back in the day when pulling into a gas station, what sound did you hear? From 1958 through 1972, who hosted a total of 53 young people's concerts on television? Sorry, Antics. I hope that was better. And back in the day, when pulling into a gas station, what sound did you hear? No, not Dick Clark. Not Dick Clark. Somebody you wouldn't expect, actually. According, ding dong is right. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Ding dong. Front tires and then back tires. Ding dong. The service bell. Yep. Ding dong. And the concerts, guys, those were Leonard Bernstein. Those were Leonard Bernstein. According to Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band, how many years earlier had they learned to play? How many years ago? Everybody knows this. You've got gas. Yeah, you've got mail. The Galloping Gourmet was a famous TV chef who admitted he dipped into the cooking sherry a little too often on air. Who was the chef? Anybody remember? 20 is right, Antics. You are on it tonight. Who was the Galloping Gourmet who dipped a little too often into the cooking sherry? And what were the two most popular places to get green stamps? S&H green stamps. Where did you get those? Boy, do you guys remember green stamps? Boy, they were everywhere. The Galloping Graham Care. Yes, Cricket. Yes. Graham Care is the Galloping Gourmet. Two most popular places to get S&H green stamps. Were there really, Adam? Yes, Cricket, the gas station and the supermarket. At the 1976 campaign rally, Gerald Ford's vice president flipped the bird at hippie protesters. You've only gotten green stamps in the pockets of old thrift store purses. Wow, Antics. Those would be, that's a treasure. That's a definite treasure. At a 1976 campaign rally, Gerald Ford's vice president flipped the board at hippie protesters. Who was it? And while we're waiting on that, home economics was part of our school experience. Give me the name of 2 of the 5 best-selling brands of sewing patterns. And Rockefeller it is. Nelson Rockefeller. 2 of the 5 best-selling sewing patterns. The name of this classic game comes from the sound made when one of the marbles drops down the tube. So we're waiting for 2 of the 5 best-selling brands of sewing patterns. And the name, 3-hour dress. I don't think that's what they meant. Kerplunk is right, Antics. Kerplunk is Absolutely right. Vogue is one. Brands. I meant brands. Yes. Buttrick and Mercalls and Vogue. And this list says advance, although I don't know advance patterns. Droppy clack clack. Okay, so back to green stamps. Simplicity. Yes, simplicity it is. I knew you guys would know that. Back to green stamps. Parents got the stamps. Parents cashed them in at the redemption store. But what did the kids do with the green stamps? What did the kids do with the green stamps, y'all? And that is the end of the questions. What did the kids do with the green stamps? The parents got the stamps. The parents redeemed the stamps. But in between that, what did the kids do? I remember what the kids did. Yep, Cricket, you are absolutely right. Lick them and put them in the books. I'm liking this sunset picture, except for the fact that it looks like the sun is setting in the west. They got envious. Put it in the book. The kids put them in the book. That's right. That was the kid job. I forgot to tell you, you remember my unicorn, my Lego unicorn that my son got me? Well, there is a way to turn, yes, lick them, to turn that unicorn into check it out, y'all. It's a Millennium Falcon. I know the sun does not set in the west. Makes it look like the sun's setting in the east. Those mountains are all east of me. And the sunset looks like they're in the east. Did I say west? I meant east. We are facing east in this view. Yes, Antics. I misworded. I worded wrong. Your grandmother gave us her green stamps, so you had our own little stash. That's so cool, Cricket. I meant east. I'm sure I said west. I meant east. See, this view is to the east, but it looks like the sun's behind me setting, so it's somewhat problematic. Yeah, I'm sure I did. I have. It's been a day, y'all. I took off the day from work because I didn't feel well. I like the bunny in the chair too. The bunny in the chair is cute. I have a daylight. I have a daylight version. Do you guys want to see it? Let me show you the daylight version. It's not bad. Here's the daylight version. I'll show you. If I can find you again. Find my mouse, find you. My great grandfather was so dumb during the Civil War, he fought for the West. It's okay, Antics. It's just been a day. I haven't been able to keep my eyes open all day. I haven't been taking my Aleve, and so my body hurts. Something fierce. I can't find this window to show you, so I need to futz with it differently. Now I can show you. Hold on. There we go. Here's the daylight version. It's probably a little better. Maybe I'll try that one next time. Okay, y'all. Trivia is super fun. What you don't know, you learn. Exactly, Adam. I enjoy trivia too. This has been fun trivia. This has been fun trivia. So that's the view east of here. You like that one? There we go. That one is a little better. The other one is too dark. The other one is too dark. I thought this one would be too bright, but it's a little less bright. Says the guy who knows everything. You know how he probably learned everything? I wanted spring with wisteria and rhododendrons and lilacs and tulips and daffodils. All the things. Cherries. I love spring. I love spring. A change from Paris. It's a change from Paris. So I will be live tomorrow night with Brain Fog. Brain Fog, are we going to be live tomorrow night at 7 o'clock? I know they do, Susan. You know so much about flowers. Oh, magnolias too. I forgot the magnolia. This one up here, this one in the top corner is a magnolia. So, Brain Fog and I will be live on Old Tifa tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and we will discuss the events of the week. Hopefully, I will be feeling a little bit better. Hopefully, she will be feeling better. And I will see you guys then and on Sunday night. Shaquille, howdy. I was just saying goodbye. It's nice to see you. Hi, bye. Thank you for dropping the old Tifa link, Cricket. I appreciate it. I haven't gotten the live scheduled yet for this week, but follow old Tifa, subscribe to old Tifa, and that will help you know when we go live. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, guys, I am beat. Sweet dreams to all of y'all. And I will see some of you tomorrow night. Thank you for joining me. Susan, Fuzzy, Cricket, Old Tifa, Adam, Bill, Nebulous was here. We had everybody tonight. It was lovely. Thank you for coming. And I will see you guys.